Hello, I'm Bailey Leacher, and I'm back with another video as I am giving my preview and predictions on the 2019 NFL Playoff Divisional Round. The first game of the Divisional round that will be happening on Saturday will be the Chiefs versus the Colts. This is honestly probably the most exciting matchup, in my opinion, of the Divisional round. I mean, you got the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes, the MVP's first full year. I mean, just probably the most exciting quarterback to watch in the NFL right now against the Colts, who are really looking like a Super Bowl contender despite being the sixth seed, coming off a great win against the Houston Texans, where they just shut down Deshaun Watson. This is probably one of the most exciting games and a lot of historical value for the Colts. Some history that these teams have played each other twice in the 21st century. Most recently was 5 years ago, in I believe it was 2013-14 playoffs, where it was one of those playoffs. But it was the 2014. That's where we saw the comeback that the Colts had versus the Chiefs, who were down by 28 points. They're coached by Frank Reich, who, as a backup for the Buffalo Bills, led the biggest comeback in NFL history in the playoffs in 1993, where they came back against the Houston Oilers to win and embark on another Super Bowl appearance. So got that history. I think definitely the narrative in the history of Andy Reid is not managing games well in his career, especially in the playoffs. But he's trying to break that trend. I think this is going to be a very exciting game, and I think there will be a lot more points. I think the keys in this game. I think defensively, I would give the advantage to the Indianapolis Colts. I think honestly they have a better overall defense, led by Darius Leonard, the rookie. I think the Chiefs, I think the big flaw in there is in their secondary, despite their front seven being very good, led by Chris Jones. I think the big advantage, though, and the big key in this game is if the Colts, if they contain that front seven, they'll put up a lot more points. If they contain it and they're able to attack that secondary, I think they'll win this game. And honestly, I think that will be the case. I think this will be a high-scoring game, but I'm going to go with the road team, the Indianapolis Colts, to win this week. And then the other Saturday matchup in the NFC, the Rams versus the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys coming off a very impressive win defensively, especially against the Seattle Seahawks. Rams obviously had that bye. This is going to be, I think the Cowboys, in hindsight, especially their fans, I think they kind of hoped that the Eagles would have won, they would have lost, because A, a division rival is gone out of the playoffs, and B, they would have liked to play the Saints even on the road. The Cowboys did beat the Saints earlier this year, so I think you'd have that advantage going into that game, knowing that you get to play a team you beat, and even though they're the favorites, you get to face them, even though it's on the road as well. But that's not the case. They have to play the Rams. I think Dallas played very well defensively, but I think the big key in this game is going to be the front seven for the LA Rams. I mean, Aaron Donald, Ndamukong Suh. I mean, you have all those pieces on defense. I think that's gonna be a big factor in this game. I think Aaron Donald, I think he's gonna have a big game. The Rams are gonna get Todd Gurley back. I think quarterbacks are pretty on par, but I think Jared Goff has more weapons on offense to contain or to attack that Dallas defense. I think the Rams, I think they're heavily favored in this game, and I'm going to go with the Rams in this over the Cowboys. Moving on to the Sunday matchups, the second-seeded New England Patriots versus the LA Chargers, who are coming off a impressive win. Just were able to squeak by the Baltimore Ravens in that fourth quarter, as that game got tight in the fourth quarter. I think this is going to be hopefully another good matchup. I think all these games are going to be pretty good matchups. I think New England history is on their side. The Chargers Philip Rivers has never beaten Tom Brady in his career. I think in this game, according to the weather report, there's expected to be, I think, 3 to 5 inches of snow. Philip Rivers, even though they did play Baltimore last week, it was actually not that cold. I think the highs were in the 50s and it was sunny, so it was like perfect day in Baltimore when it came to football weather. Even though I think New England's defense is it's not as good as it once was. I think the Chargers have a better defense. I think it just comes down to the playoffs are just a different animal to Tom Brady and how dangerous he is. And I think that's going to be a big factor. He may have looked sluggish at the end, towards the end of the regular season, but it's a brand new start, and I think that's just going to be a big factor. I think both quarterbacks have good games, but I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with the New England Patriots in this one. And then this is probably the Super Bowl favorites currently right now, the number one seeded New Orleans Saints against the sixth seeded Philadelphia Eagles, who just squeaked by last week against the Chicago Bears, thanks to the Cody Parkey missed, or I guess it's considered blocked field goal now. So this is going to be both these teams played earlier this year. It was a huge blowout. I think the Eagles were blown out by over 30 points. 38-7. Carson Wentz started in that game. That was kind of the rock bottom for the Philadelphia Eagles this season. Obviously, Nick Foles will be starting again, and he continues as he's continuing to. The deeper he gets into a postseason this season, it's just a harder case. It makes it the decision for with the Philadelphia Eagles which quarterback are they going to start for the future just that much harder. Honestly, I don't think this game is going to be as big of a blowout as as the previous matchup between these teams this year. I think the Eagles. I think they play a little bit better behind Nick Foles. I was really impressed how they were able to map. That Philadelphia offensive line, their defense and their secondary played very well again. And not only that, they contained Khalil Mack. So, and the New Orleans Saints defense has not played as well as they did last year. So I think that's going to be a key in why I think Nick Foles will put up some numbers in this game. I think the big advantage, though, is Drew Brees. I think he has never lost. I could be jinxing him, but he's never lost in his playoff career when playing in the stadium. I think the history is on his advantage. I think New Orleans. I think they are an overall better team. I think offensively they are. I think both teams put up good offensive numbers. But I think the defense. I think New Orleans defense makes just enough plays. As I think Drew Brees will have a big game, and I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints over the Philadelphia Eagles. What are your thoughts on who do you think will win in the divisional round coming up this weekend? Leave your comments below in the comments section on what you think will happen and who do you think will win. Click like if you like the video and subscribe. As always, follow me on Twitter at BaileyLager96. So thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you all later.